Well, Buttler served it up well for England with a pinch of salt, and we've got our first semi-finalists in. And here at Cricbuzz Live, like I said, a very happy Michael Vaughan. Michael, when is our ice cream party?
It'll come, but first and foremost, bullseye. Bullseye.
Well
not only with your prediction, but I love that little pinch of
the
salt.
Buttler with the salt.
Well,
very good.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you. But I think just happy smiles and happy England fans, happy Michael. We'll have a look at what's happened in the quick game, because we're so used to going there and sitting in the com-box chairs that England didn't give us that opportunities. Jos Buttler, 83 of 38, and Phil Salt, 25. That's that.
Yeah, great performance by England. First with the ball, decent in the field, and then I guess what all England fans would have wanted would be to see Jos Buttler play like that. You know, he's been a little bit scratchy for a while now, and scratchy in the IPL, apart from that great 100 that he got in Calcutta. A bit scratchy so far in the tournament, and then to see him just strike it to all parts of Barbados going into the semi-finals, yeah, that's job done.
Job done. And those 4 sixes that we saw Jordan with 4 wickets, and now we see Jos with 4 sixes.
5, I think.
But 4 in that over.
Well, I thought he got 5 in the over, didn't he? Because the wide came and then he hit another one for so he ended up toppling Chris Jordan. But yeah, I mean, the damage was completely done. Well, it was done prior to that over, but that was just closing it out. Just nice sort of almost range practice hitting for him to just get that eye in and find the middle of the bat. Felt a bit sorry for Harmeet Singh there, but and the US, it's a shame. Their last 2 games, they've really been just blown out of the water by quality opposition after all the thrills and spills of the first phase of the tournament for them. I guess it's a reality check where they can go away.
I'll tell you what else it's a real reality check to Pakistan as well. Pakistan lost to the US.
Yes.
You know, most of the teams have blown them off the park.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, the
top tier teams.
The top tier teams have just dismantled them. So it's a little bit of a warning sign. Not that Pakistan need any more of a warning, that their white ball team needs a little bit of a shake-up, but every other team has dismantled that.
But
side.
if at all that excuse of the New York pitch, and USA did scare India a little bit as well at one point, but we could blame it on the pitch if we have to. But the big story for you is England's qualifying for the semis, or is Jos Buttler coming into form, coming into the semis? Which one's bigger?
I think, reaching the semis is the main target that you want as a team. But when you do it with your captain finding form like that, 83 from 38, look at that, 7 sixes. That's Buttler. That is what we have come to love about Jos Buttler over the last few years. Maybe it was the fact that he kind of knew that his team were in the semis. It was a small target, and he just kind of freed himself up. He's got to take that mentality into the semis, because there's a small few, I think, in white ball cricket history, never mind this era, that can actually win a game on their own. I generally believe Jos Buttler with the bat in hand, if he fires against all bowling, against quality, against Bumrah, Rashid Khan, he's got the game to be able to hit pretty much everyone in the world. So I think if you just said to the England management today, yes, you want to win, but who do you want to see have a great day? I bet they'd have all said, we want the skipper to find some form.
And like you said, he can be that game changer. We've seen it in a few games, the IPL as well. Once he comes on, he's very difficult to stop, Giddy. But we were chatting about it in the green room. When he started off, he wasn't in his best flow. And then things just turned around in 3-4 overs when he got a few boundaries getting in. So as a batter, do you think he just needed those 3-4 boundaries to come in, and then kind of we saw what he could do? Yeah,
it can change so quickly. A drop chance that for so long, might have been 5 or 6 games prior, every chance feels like it's being taken off your blade, and then suddenly a drop chance and you get a life, or you hit one straight to a fielder and he misfields it and it goes for 4 and you go, well, hang on, and then everything just seems to, all of a sudden, like that last over, every delivery seems to get served up exactly where you want it. And the good thing is, I think it might have been Nasser Hussain in commentary just spoke about just him not trying to overhit it. Being aggressive, but not what we say losing your shape of the stroke. So just a nice, fluent, it's almost like a golf swing. It's just perfection when he's got it. And I think the fact that the final is at that venue, so they've got to get through the semi. But if he gets there, And they're familiar with that now, England. They copped a hiding there. Well, not a hiding. They were well beaten by Australia at that venue, but their experience there now will be a much better one, and they'll look forward to that if they can get there, and so too will Jos Buttler. We made the comment in the green room, didn't we, that he'd seemed to put away a bit of his creativity in recent times, whether it's captaincy that brings with it a bit of a burden that you've just trimmed back your game a little bit and don't want to risk things in that leadership position. But and that's probably not the pitch where you can get down and ramp, because there's not a lot of pace on it, and do the reverse flicks that he does so well when there's pace on the ball. But I think just the complete freedom, knowing it was a small target.
Yes.
He can just go for it with nothing to lose. Now that's flicked the switch in the mind, just one stroke, as I say.
You know, your paddle partner was partnered by Phil Salt, and we are so used to seeing Phil Salt be the aggressor with that strike rate. But today, with the way Buttler was going, he was happy to sit at the non-striker and watch the captain do what he was doing.
Yeah, pinch of salt was just, he was just having a nice little, little movie at the end, at 22 yards away. He had the best seat in the house. Yeah, it happens like that. And that's why I was really impressed, because it has been Phil Salt over the last few games. It's been coming out of the traps, and today it wasn't his day in terms of finding that rhythm, those boundaries early, but it was Jos's, and he just almost said, all right, it's your go. You know, in actual fact, he's probably such a good team player that he'd have been saying, we want you to find some form, get as many balls as you possibly can. But England have done well. I mean, they really have staggered in this tournament, but it's all about tournament play, peaking at the right time, getting into the knockout stages. I've always said in this era of white ball cricket, this England side are dangerous. When they get to a knockout, I always worry about them in group stages, when there's almost not enough to play for. Like the Scotland game, I honestly was petrified. Petrified, because I was like, they don't seem to get the beans up for that kind of game. But now they're into this stage that they have to win. I have no fear that they'll produce the mentality. It's just whether the opposition play better than them on that given day, which might happen, particularly on these kind of pitches, but they'll be delighted with that performance.
That 100-run partnership, the fourth of the tournament, opening partnership, and the other three?
We saw one this morning, didn't we?
Well, that's right.
Afghanistan,
and the other two, other than the two we've seen today, again to the Afghanistani opening partners, Cricbuzz and Ibrahim. Yeah. So that's.
But today's 100-run, we were talking about Phil Salt, how he's not been the aggressor. We saw him again in the IPL and how aggressive he is. Mature knock from him to take a back seat when your partner is going and doing what he is.
That's why we call them partnerships, isn't it? Because there's two of you out there trying to achieve a common goal. That's for the team. But sometimes when one's hot, you just got to get the strike to him. And it's a bit like using we had Reza Hendricks and Quentin de Kock. Reza wasn't quite able to, he was sort of 18 off 25, 26 or something like that. If you're going to run a ball and getting the striker, the weapon back on strike, that's great. And that's what Phil Salt did. He was more than happy to play his role. He had a couple of nice boundaries just to remind himself that, and everyone else, that he can find the middle of the bat. So it was a nice partnership.
I'm going to give you something, mate. Do you know Essex County Cricket Club? You know there is a batter in his surname's Pepper.
Oh, we would have liked him to be in the team.
Honestly, I feel like even just for comedy gold, just pick him for one game. Just put him at the top.
They didn't add the pepper to the dish that Buttler served up.
Get the mustard. Junior Hayden Mustard, his son's now playing, so get Hayden Mustard in there.
But with what the captain did today and the one-course meal that he had today, I don't know if we should have a look at the bowling, because it's a sorry sight to see that bowling.
I need a wheelbarrow.
No wickets at all. They've been whacked around the park everywhere. Saurabh Netravalkar, who's been the star bowler for them, got hit around as well. And Harmeet, we know what happened in his over. So really nothing to talk about.
Well, I think we've seen enough from Netravalkar that I think we're going to see quite a bit of him. Left arm, he's skillful. Can swing the ball either way. Barbados is not really a swinging kind of venue. It's for the cutters and you're trying to deceive the batter. But I think we'll see quite a bit of him. He's a real skillful bowler. He's had a good World Cup.
Yeah.
Well, not only has he had a good World Cup, America has had a very good World Cup, because considering they qualified for the Super 8s, they beat Pakistan, they gave India a scare. So it's not like this associated nation just made it. they made it and they looked very confident when they did it. So it's been a very promising campaign by USA.
Yeah, 2009, last time an associate made it to that second round, and that was Ireland. But yeah, a lot of red at the back end of the tournament there, but they did enough early to get through. And they've also raised the profile of the game. The whole objective of this tournament being played in the US and split with the Caribbean was investment in the game in that region and raise the profile and get people turning their attention to it. Time will tell if it translates into, Americans, born and bred Americans who would typically go to baseball or all the various sports over there. If they invest in cricket, emotionally or end up playing it, who knows? But they've given it the best chance and the best opportunity. So the ICC, event organising committee must be thrilled with that end result, and they're around for a while.
Yes.
To 2026, they're going to be there.
Olympics, they'll be there too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So 9 associate nations took part this T20 World Cup. How happy were you to see the way USA went about with their campaign?
Yeah, I think, I've read some articles saying, the associate nations are getting closer. I think one or two of them are. I think there's some great stories. The USA obviously being the standout. I think Namibia at times showed a little bit of promise. Some of that, there's been quite a close. I think Scotland, Ireland are always quite close. They kind of compete. And then there's this other group that are just starting out, the Papua New Guineas, Oman's just look a long way short of that. But they're only going to get better by playing and having more experience. So all the teams that have been at this World Cup will be better for the run out. I think the United States, of all those kind of minnow teams, I'm excited by them because they've got the clout with the money. They've got an MLC that's going to get bigger and bigger. You see all the names that are signing multi-year contracts, from Steve Smith to Pat Cummins, Jake Fraser-McGurk. Many of the big names in the world are going to play in the MLC, which is only going to help grow the game. They're in, obviously, the next T20 World Cup, the Olympics in 28, so they've got pretty much the next 4 years covered in terms of high-level cricket. So Stuart Law, as the coach, has done a great job. I think he'll have a nice platform now, and at the minute they're not producing homegrown American players that are coming through their school system, but I think what he'll be trying to do is scour the world, trying to find a couple of young players that he could potentially grab from another country. Then I don't know what the qualifying period is, 4 or 5 years, whatever it may be, but I think that's what Americans, probably the best way for them to become a really good team is to just go and try and grow that way to start with, and then hope over years, and it will take a number of years, that league in America gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and who knows, cricket will be taken over from baseball in 20 years' time.
Ooh,
that's the ICC dream.
Yes. And I won't be surprised to see a whole lot of USA players coming in and playing the bigger leagues or playing the IPL. Won't be surprised to see them. But, with what Buttler and Salt did today, how does it feel like opening batters that both of you all were at a point? To not let anyone else play. Just go there, go from the start, and we finish it off and then go back and have a nice, happy meal. Job
done. And I don't think you'd have any complaints from anyone down the order. I don't think anyone in that batting lineup, particularly small totals like that, you don't want to be going in with 10 to get, 15 to get. You've got nothing really to gain. So, no, that's comprehensive performance. That's very professional performance.
I know what England will be doing now. They'll be on the tee box.
Yeah, okay.
What time is it in Barbados? It's only,
There'll be quite a big party now.
Well, it won't be. But honestly, they'll be on the tee box this afternoon having a game of golf, and
they've got to wait to see where they've got to go.
Yeah, so they'll be staying in Barbados tonight, definitely. So they'll be they'll be whacking a few golf balls this afternoon.
Because they have no idea who they're going to play in their semis.
No, we're trying to work that out.
Because it's also open still.
Trying to work that out. Obviously tomorrow morning's game, West Indies South Africa will decide upon who else goes through to the semi-final, but it's where England finish.
Yes.
And obviously, if India finish top, my crystal ball before the game I was thinking England will finish top and then maybe Afghanistan second. But I think my crystal ball's moved, and I get a feeling me and you might be at each other.
You think Afghanistan's going up?
I think India might be playing.
Oh.
Well, I did my maths just very quickly after that. And the West Indies to surpass England, net run rate, need to win by 49 runs or more.
Right, so that's the West Indies winning.
That's if they bat first.
So I don't think they'll do that.
Or in 16 overs.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that. So I think if South Africa win, they go top, and England a second, they'll play India.
I tell you what, I'm a bit surprised how calmly worry about how quickly I did my maths there. I was waiting
you
for
were
some
good.
sort of acknowledgement. But well done,
You know you're
Australia,
a
for
genius.
throwing this competition wide open.
Yes.
I mean, how boring would it have been if our blokes just
Yeah.
knocked over Afghanistan this morning? We wouldn't be wondering, we wouldn't be speculating, the chat wouldn't be there, the interest. I mean, we are truly
growing the
global
game in
ambassadors. Growing the game.
Growing the game in
Australia is all about the
Afghanistan as
betterment
well.
of everyone
Yeah.
else.
Well, absolutely, because we're very grateful and thankful for what happened this morning. So, Gilly, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah, but 2022 semi-final, I don't think Indian fans want to remember what
No,
happened.
they won't want to go back to
Yes.
that. Different
Wanna
pitch
remember.
in Guyana, I would think. But, Guyana, there's been no games there, so it's a little bit of a... For both teams, whoever goes to Guyana for the semi-final to play India, it's a little bit like diving into the unknown.
Yeah.
We've seen Trinidad, we've obviously seen Barbados for the final, but Guyana, that'll be a tricky decision at the top of knowing what to do as a captain, because you've got no kind of data analyst telling you, last week this did that, and there's none of that, so you have to throw the coin in the air and hope you lose it.
Well, I reckon that's what you're doing, trying to predict the winner of this tournament. It really is. With the pitches,
Yes.
pitch conditions, the quality in the team lineups, the one out sort of lone wolf that can go out and suddenly just take a game away from someone. It really is a flip of a coin to try to come up with a name. And I think what if India, England, let's say it's the West Indies and who else? Whatever four you end up with, they're all a chance of taking.
I said
it
at the start, I said it's the hardest World Cup to win this one.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
there's so many good teams. If you think Pakistan, Sri Lanka haven't even qualified for the Super 8s. There's
Or New Zealand.
and New Zealand,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some real quality teams out there with all the same kind of skill sets, the same kind of power. And as Gilly's just said, on a given day, it only takes one partnership, one opening burst or one middle-order partnership that explodes into life, and that can be enough.
I mean, you said that it would be you versus me, is what your crystal ball says.
I honestly hope England play India.
Oh, you want England to play
that.
India?
Yeah, in the final.
No, I mean the semis. Who do you want England to play in the semis?
Not India.
Not India. I mean, I'd actually love them to play Australia.
Wow, Gilly.
I'd love to see an England-Australia semi-final, but I think it'll be
So you
potentially
feel
England, Afghanistan.
Australia over India?
Well, the Aussies are going to have to beat India, which is a big if. But of any team that could bounce back from a disappointment, which was only a few hours ago, to get on that plane, as we mentioned, and then get stuck in the
No
airport.
bags.
Yeah, there's no bag, no kit. I do think there's one team that could beat India, and that'd be Australia.
Who, let's say hypothetically, now that England they have qualified, between the two middle names there, who would you be more comfortable your team playing against, given the pitch conditions?
I think he had said that he'd
Yeah, I
rather
know
play
that.
Australia than Afghanistan. So
You said
I honestly think they'd prefer to play Australia. I really do, on the wickets that
you're
you
telling
play
me
on.
after one result today we're now Minnow Nation.
Yeah.
Is that what
You're a minnow.
well, when we have an
I
Australian,
just looked at that Afghanistan bowling set this morning. They're all Harry Potter. They've all got a load of tricks.
got the little wand out today,
Whereas
didn't they?
Australia's attack is just a brilliant attack, but at least you know what's coming.
Gilly, he says, at least you know what's coming to the Australian attack. That's what Michael Vaughan, the Englishman, has to say. I love our panelists because we have Michael Vaughan, who's subtly hinting and sledging Gilly, who's sitting right next to him. But because of what happened
To be
this
fair,
morning,
he's going home tomorrow night. You can take your team with you.
He could be on a flight with meet him back in Oz at the same time.
well, let's see if they're going to be on the flight with Gilly or not, because Australia take on India tomorrow. This is the big game, because this is going to be a knockout game for Australia. And for India, of course, there's a lot of history there when it comes to Australia at the World Cup. So India will want to do everything they can to make sure they beat Australia.
Yeah, have India qualified yet?
India have qualified.
India?
Yeah, I think they've qualified.
There's a Q next to their name, is there?
I'm pretty sure.
Is there a mathematical chance?
Oh, no. Don't worry. It's
wondering.
even if it's faint, it's there.
And
It's a
even,
faint.
and even if the mathematical numbers, the ICC will make sure that those numbers are right.
Look, it's a bit like the discussion of, that scenario where Australia had the opportunity, if they were to lose to Scotland, England were out and all that. I think, and a lot of teams would have been happy to see England go. They're defending champs. And I mean that in a respectful manner. I think the same situation tomorrow. I think everyone would be more than happy to see, one of those two teams knocked out, and clearly Australia are the ones that are on the edge. They're on the cliff. They need to fight their way back. So it's a compelling situation. Can't wait to see it unfold.
But Michael, India going into this game, do you think because they have a faint Q next to their name, we know that India will be through? Do you think they'll rest a Bumrah, or they'll say no chance, it's Australia and we have to make sure we win?
I'd go for the throat. Absolutely. I mean, why would you want Australia to win tomorrow with a potential chance that you might have to face them in the final? Yeah. You get rid of them tomorrow if you can. You don't even go forward to the next game. You just play your best team. That's why I was staggered this morning when I saw the Australian love, no Mitchell Starc. Australia have been renowned in the history of the game that they just keep things simple, but do it well. And when you've got a player like Starc that misses out on a pitch that just offered a little bit, I think Australia very clearly will go back to Starc, back to their kind of main strength, because they've got enough spin. They've got Maxwell, they've got obviously Zampa. Stoinis kind of bowls that kind of method of slow ball spin, if you like. So I just think it'll be a straight swap. Ashton Agar will be out, and I think Mitchell Starc will come in. And for India, I think they'll go exactly the same again.
Agar did a very, very serviceable job. He did what he was asked to come in and do, and that's bowled tight. 4 tight overs, none for 17, I think. And that was at the top. I think his first 2 overs only went for 3 or 4. But that tells me that Australia were too negative, which is very much against the grain. The Afghan opening batters just played it beautifully. They just took their time and were happy to spend a bit of money early to get the dividend later on. So they saw him off. I think you can't fault what Agar did. He did what was asked of him. But I totally agree. The strategy overall was wrong. But don't you think he
was tight with his bowling, but don't you think he gave away too many runs in the field?
Yeah, he missed a couple out in the boundary, so that's 8 there.
I don't know what's happened to the Aussie fielding. I
it's all over the shop.
They've been to my fielding camp. My academy, it's based in Coogee in Sydney. I think they've been based there for a while, just kind of scissor hands.
I don't remember the last time Australia was so poor on the field, so they'd want to change that around for sure.
Yep, yeah, they'll be aware of that as much as anyone, so I guess the thing is there's no time in between to train really and sharpen up your skills. But all these players play enough cricket. If you haven't done your homework by now and your preparation, it's too late. So a freshen up, massage, recovery, physically, mentally, and get out there and just hopefully put on a better display.
Well, the good news for India is Hardik's form with the ball and the bat. So that's a big positive. Of course, Bumrah's consistency. We've been seeing how consistent he is. The last game India played, all the batters chipped. So overall, India going into this game with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a day game in St. Lucia. You go back to the South Africa-England game at that venue. It looked like a good bat first wicket. It really did. It got slower and slower and slower. So I would think Mitchell Marsh, if he wins the toss, he'll probably say, yeah, we'll have a bat this time, rather than do what he did against Afghanistan, which was allow them to get that number first. So I do think the toss is going to play a big part, because if India get that chance to bat first with their bowling skill sets, you can't see India not getting a half-decent score, or I can't see Australia not getting a half-decent score if they bat first. So I think whoever's chasing, it's going to be difficult.
Well, the last time these two teams met in a T20 ODI in the World Cup was, I think, 8 years ago, is when India played, if I'm not wrong.
What was the score? 8 years
when Virat got that, he chased down the 161 in Mohali.
All right, so India won, yeah? Is that why you brought it up?
I mean, it's a good memory to have, because whenever we talk about
Can I just ask you a question? How come you can remember a game 8 years ago, but you couldn't remember a game in November when I was asking you in the IPL about the World Cup final?
We have selective memory as Indian fans. So we have selective memory. We like to remember the happy days and happy times when it comes to the World Cups. When you're talking about 2022, I didn't want to bring it up because they're sore topics. but then what does one do, right? What can one do? But your players to watch out for tomorrow?
Let me see. I think for India, I will go with Sky. Mm-hmm. Yep, I just love his approach. I think, we saw the other day, hits his first ball for 6, then gets one that flies out of his control. So I just love the way his bubbly, vivacious personality going out there. And from Australia, I think, Adam Zampa's going to have to play another big role again.
All right.
I'm going to pick Aksa Patel. I think left-arm spin will do nice. He might smack a few with the bat as well. For Australia, Maxwell. Maxwell has to have a day out. The way that he plays spin, the way that he plays a little bit of kind of reverse, if there is some on these dry day wickets, I think he'll have to have a day out.
I'm glad that none of you all picked Head. So I'm happy to know that your crystal balls don't think that Head is going to have a great day tomorrow.
Oh.
We'll wait and watch and see what happens
Scars are
tomorrow.
still there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Those scars are still there, but the big game tomorrow, because Australia are under pressure. So we'll see what happens tomorrow and see if their crystal balls and their predictions come true. Let's also now quickly, like we always say, we'll go and figure Joy's the question in the green room, and we don't. So let's have a look at the Joy Factor question of the day. Which cricketer got one of his most known nicknames from an innings he played in the 2011 World Cup on his birthday?
No idea.
No, I've got no idea.
No idea.
Again. Have you?
No clue.
No clue?
Oh, Ross Taylor.
I've never heard that nickname.
And that nickname that is not so famous, Joyda.
Pala Kelly Plunderer. PP.
Yeah.
Okay. Has someone got this right? And
Well,
got the
tell me no
nickname
one's
right?
got that right.
Please, let's have a look at it and see if we have a winner today.
Oh, give over.
Oh,
No, this has to be one of his accounts. It has to be
that's
one
right.
of,
That's
one of
Joy.
Joyda's extra accounts.
Alias.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got your Joy.
Or maybe they figure your clue out, but still, even if you spoke about a century, but
Yeah, but these people, what they'll have done is just, they'll have seen when the tournament was and they'll scour through Google.
Nicknames.
And no, they'll just Googled every cricketer in the world and realise who, or every team, they've gone through all the teams and have seen whose birthdays around that time. And then it's just gone through.
and a century that.
Yeah, that's what they go.
Yeah.
So they just
Maybe.
break it down. It'll take some time though. That wasn't a 2-minute job. That's been 2 hours.
Well done. Congratulations on
They
that
should
answer.
go to the pub.
Yes.
Yeah.
Catch up and socialise.
Yeah, they need to
Those
get
sort
it.
of people.
Yes.
Deepak, you need to get out a bit more. But
Well, you all did applaud, and I'm very grateful that you all did. But I want to also have a look at what's happened in that leaderboard, if there's any movement at all.
I might have got that one as well. Is that right?
Well, nothing changes. It's ridiculous.
Nothing's changed. I've gone joint top
What? How did you go up there, Michael?
because I got it as well.
What?
I said
The
60.
first innings.
The second innings.
Oh, the
power play.
second. Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Oh, well
I'm
done.
just hanging on to that.
I get the bullseye, but Michael goes up.
Yeah, you see, you were thinking you were going to go above me.
GK's
Oh,
just gone up.
GK's moved.
Yeah, he was cellar dweller last night.
But Simon's still up there, smiling.
Isn't he?
Manishi's struggling isn't he, at the bottom.
Isn't he?
Well, it's a day that England has won comprehensively, not only on the ground but also at Cricbuzz Live. Well done to see yourself go up that
Thank you
leaderboard.
very much.
Well done.
There's a long way to go.
It's a long way to go, but you still have quite some time, Michael, so you can catch up. And are you in tomorrow?
I'm in on. I can't wait. I can't wait to get up at 4 o'clock on Tuesday morning for the Afghanistan Bangladesh. I know Gilly will be watching it, but I can't wait.
But I know
early
that
call.
I know that Gilly is in here tomorrow.
And tomorrow, yeah.
It's going to be a high pressure game for you, Gilly. So you take care of yourself.
I will.
Get some rest in,
I'll
because
get
I
good-
know
good
that you've
preparation.
had. Yes, I know that today's been a tough day for you, and hopefully tomorrow it will be a tough day again. I really hope so.
I know you mean that sincerely.
Well, thank you, Michael. You have a good day off, and I will see you very early in the morning.
Yeah, can't wait. I'll bring the coffee.
You bring.
I love that. The most concerning thing, you said, what do we eat? We're going to get some breakfast? Who's going to order breakfast?
We'll take care of
You can't
Michael's
have
coffee
sushi.
and food.
You've had sushi every other night.
Oh dear.
We will take care of all the food that Michael needs, but we have to now go and have the ice cream party that we have to take from Michael because of what England's done today. So we are going to go and have our ice cream, and tomorrow hopefully a lot of Indian fans and all the Indian fans will have ice cream as well. We'll find out what happens tomorrow. So do join us at 7:30 tomorrow. We'll see you all there. Good night and goodbye.